Imagine waking up in a world where stepping outside for even 1 second means freezing to death. No homes, no countries, no sky, just endless ice. The only humans left alive are trapped inside a train that has been moving for 17 years without ever stopping. But this train is not a shelter, it is a prison on wheels. At the front, rich people live in warmth, eat real food, drink champagne, and celebrate like the world never ended. At the back, poor people are crushed together in darkness, starving, beaten and fed disgusting black protein blocks just to stay alive. Every day they are told the same rule: stay in your place, accept your hunger, never move forward. But then children from the tail section start disappearing, and one man realizes the people at the front are hiding something horrifying. Today he is about to start a rebellion that will move car by car toward the engine. But the closer they get to the front, the more they discover one terrifying truth: the frozen world outside may not be the real nightmare. The real nightmare is what keeps the train alive. The story begins after humanity tries to stop global warming by releasing a chemical into the atmosphere. The plan is supposed to cool the Earth, save the planet, and protect the future. But instead it goes terribly wrong. The temperature drops too far. The entire world freezes. Cities collapse. Oceans turn to ice. Forests die. Countries disappear under snow. In a short time, Earth becomes a frozen wasteland where no human can survive. But one powerful man had prepared for this disaster. He built a massive train with an engine that never stops. This train circles the entire planet again and again, moving through ice, snow, mountains, and dead cities. For the people inside, the train is not just transportation, it is the whole world. Years pass, the train keeps moving, and humanity is still alive. But survival has created a new kind of prison. At the front of the train live the rich, the powerful, and the chosen. They have clean clothes, warm rooms, fresh food, music, parties, school, beauty salons, and everything they need to pretend life is still normal. But at the very back is the tail section. This is where the poorest passengers were thrown when the train first departed. They were not invited. They forced their way inside to survive, and because of that, the people in power treat them like criminals. The tail passengers live in darkness. They sleep on top of each other. They are dirty, hungry, and constantly watched by armed guards. Their only food is disgusting black protein blocks handed out like animal feed. Every day, soldiers arrive and remind them that they belong at the bottom. No questions, no resistance, no hope. Among these people is Curtis, a quiet but intense man who has spent years watching, waiting, and planning. Curtis does not act like a hero. He carries pain inside him, and he clearly hates himself for something from the past. Beside him is Edgar, a younger man who looks up to Curtis like an older brother. There is also Gilliam, an old man who has become the spiritual leader of the tail section. He is missing an arm and a leg, but everyone respects him because he gives people hope when they have nothing left. Curtis believes the time for waiting is over. He knows the guards have power. He knows the front controls everything, but he has noticed something strange. The guards may not have real bullets anymore. For years, the soldiers have used fear to control the tail. They point guns, shout orders, and beat anyone who resists. But Curtis thinks the guns are empty because bullets would be too valuable after so many years. If he is right, the tail section has a chance. If he is wrong, everyone dies. One day, the train's authority arrives at the tail with a cruel woman named Mason. She is strange, dramatic, and completely loyal to the train's creator. She gives speeches about order and balance, telling the poor people that every person must stay in their assigned place. According to her, the shoe belongs on the foot and the hat belongs on the head. The tail belongs at the back. The engine belongs at the front. Then a father named Andrew loses control when soldiers try to take his little son away. Children from the tail are sometimes selected and removed, but nobody knows why. Andrew fights back, desperate to save his child. As punishment, the guards force him to place his arm through a hole in the train wall. Outside, the world is unimaginably cold. His arm is exposed to the freezing air until it becomes solid ice. Then they smash it with a hammer. The entire tail section watches in horror. This is what the front does to anyone who resists. But instead of breaking Curtis, this moment confirms what he already knows. They cannot live like this anymore. Soon after, Curtis receives secret messages hidden inside the protein blocks. Someone from the front is helping them. The messages tell him when to move and what to do. Curtis does not know who is sending them, but the information is too important to ignore. Then, the moment finally arrives. The tail passengers launch their rebellion. When the guards come in, Curtis makes his move. He attacks, and the others follow. Chaos explodes inside the cramped tail section. People fight with fists, pipes, anything they can grab. The guards try to scare them with guns, but Curtis takes the risk and proves the truth. The guns are empty. For the first time in 17 years, the tail passengers push forward. They break through the first doors. They capture Mason, and suddenly, the people who had lived their entire lives in fear realize something powerful. The front can be challenged. But every train car ahead is a new world, and every world has its own danger. Curtis knows they cannot simply rush forward blindly. They need someone who understands the doors. Every section of the train is separated by locked gates, and each gate is controlled by a security system. There is only one man who can open them, Namgung Min-soo, the engineer who designed the train's door system, but he is being kept in prison. Curtis and his group reach the prison section and find Namgung locked in a drawer-like cell, along with his daughter Yona. Namgung is addicted to a drug made from industrial waste, and he refuses to help unless they give him more of it every time he opens a door. Curtis does not trust him, but he has no choice. Namgung becomes their key to the front. The group moves forward, one door at a time, and with each door, the train becomes more shocking. After years of darkness and starvation, the tail passengers suddenly see things they forgot existed. They find an aquarium car filled with fish. They see fresh water, green plants, and clean spaces. The train is not just a machine. It is an entire artificial ecosystem, but this also reveals something disturbing. The people at the front were never struggling. They had everything. While the tail starved, the front lived in luxury. Curtis and the others continue forward until they enter a dark car filled with masked soldiers holding axes. These men are not ordinary guards. They are prepared for war. Then the train passes through a long tunnel and the lights go out. The battle begins in total darkness. The masked soldiers attack brutally. Curtis and his people fight back, but the tail passengers are not trained. They are desperate survivors, fighting professional killers inside a narrow metal corridor. People fall. Screams fill the darkness. When the train emerges from the tunnel, the scene is horrific. Many tail passengers are dead. Edgar is captured. Curtis has a chance to save him, but at the same moment, Mason tries to escape. Curtis must choose. Save Edgar, the young man who trusts him completely, or capture Mason, the woman who can help them reach the front. Curtis chooses the mission. Edgar is killed. Curtis survives, but something inside him breaks even more. This is not just a rebellion anymore. It is becoming a sacrifice. After the battle, Curtis continues forward with fewer people. Every step costs blood, but going back is impossible. They pass through more train cars and the contrast becomes even more insane. One car is filled with people making sushi from fresh fish. Another is a classroom where children are taught to worship the train's creator like a god. The teacher smiles sweetly while filling their minds with propaganda. She tells them the engine is eternal, the creator is sacred, and everyone in the tail is lazy, dirty, and dangerous. The children believe every word. Curtis sees that the front does not just control bodies, it controls minds. Suddenly, violence erupts again. The teacher is secretly armed, and another attack begins. Curtis and his group barely survive. More people die. The rebellion grows smaller, but Curtis keeps moving because he believes reaching the engine is the only way to change everything. As they go deeper into the front sections, they enter cars of pure luxury. Rich passengers drink, dance, get high, and celebrate like the world outside never ended. They enjoy saunas, clubs, colorful lights, expensive clothes, and endless pleasure. To them, the suffering at the back is invisible. Curtis watches these people partying while his friends have died just a few cars behind him. The unfairness is almost unbearable. But Namgung sees something else. He keeps looking outside. Unlike everyone else, he does not believe the world is completely dead anymore. He has noticed changes in the snow. He thinks the ice may be melting. He believes the outside might be becoming survivable again. Curtis does not want to hear it. For him, the mission is the engine. The engine controls the train. Whoever controls the engine controls the world. But Namgung believes the train itself is the prison. He does not want to take the engine. He wants to leave the train. This creates tension between them because both men are fighting for freedom, but they define freedom differently. Finally, after crossing the train's strange and violent worlds, Curtis reaches the final section before the engine. Only a few are left now. Curtis, Namgung, and Yona. Then Curtis reveals the secret he has been carrying for years. When the poor first forced their way into the tail section, there was no food, no order, no hope. People became desperate. Horrible things happened. The strong hurt the weak. People did things just to survive that they can never forgive themselves for. Curtis admits he was one of them. He remembers the darkness of those first days. He remembers how Gilliam sacrificed his own body to stop people from becoming monsters. He remembers that the old man gave pieces of himself to feed others, and that act of sacrifice changed everything. Curtis has spent years hating himself. That is why he wants to reach the front. Not because he believes he is pure, but because he believes someone has to carry the guilt and end the system. Then the engine door opens. Curtis is invited inside. At the front, he finally meets Wilford, the creator of the train. Curtis expects to meet a monster, but Wilford is calm, intelligent, and almost gentle. He welcomes Curtis like this meeting was always meant to happen. And then the real truth comes out. The rebellion was not an accident. It was controlled. Wilford and Gilliam had been working together. The secret messages, the timing, the revolution, the deaths, everything was part of a planned correction. The train has limited resources. Too many people create imbalance. So, every few years, Wilford allows a rebellion to happen. The poor rise up, many people die, the population is reduced, and the train continues. The revolution Curtis believed was freedom was actually part of the system. Even his anger had been used. Curtis is devastated. Then Wilford offers him the engine. He explains that the train needs a leader. Wilford is old, and Curtis has proven himself strong enough to replace him. The engine must never stop. The order must continue. The poor must remain poor. The rich must remain comfortable. The system must survive. For one moment, Curtis is tempted. After everything he has lost, he is standing in the place he dreamed of reaching. He could control the train. He could become the man at the front. But then, Yona discovers something behind the floor panel. A small child from the tale is trapped inside the machinery. The engine does not run forever by magic. Some parts of it have failed, and because adults are too big to fit inside the engine's tight spaces, Wilford uses children as replacement parts. The children taken from the tale are forced into the machine, hidden from everyone, working like living components. Curtis finally understands. The train is not saving humanity. It is feeding on it. The entire system survives by sacrificing the weakest. This breaks the last illusion. Curtis gives up the chance to become leader. He sacrifices himself to save the child from the machinery. Namgung uses the explosive drug to blow open the train door. He believes the outside may be survivable, and this is their only real chance. The explosion tears through the train. At the same moment, an avalanche hits. The train crashes. The perfect machine finally stops. Cars are destroyed. The world inside the train collapses. Most of the passengers are killed. The endless system that had ruled humanity for 17 years is gone, but two people survive. Yona and the little boy crawl out from the wreckage into the frozen outside world. For the first time, they are not inside the train. They are standing on Earth. The air is cold. The snow is endless. The world looks empty. But then they see something impossible. A polar bear, alive. This means life still exists outside. The world is not completely dead. Humanity's future may not be inside a machine after all. The story ends with a haunting idea. For 17 years, people believed survival meant staying trapped in a system built on fear, class, and sacrifice. But maybe real survival was never about protecting the train. Maybe it was about having the courage to step outside it. And with that final hope, the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Movier for more exciting movie recaps. Thank you for watching.